What is up, everybody? Sorry, I am 8 minutes late, which kind of sucks because, well, one, I like to be on time. The other reason is because I have a hard out today about 2:30. So we're going to try to squeeze everything in. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it tomorrow because I don't know if you saw, we are going live 2 days in a row at 1:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Thursday. We have quite a bit of stuff to discuss. Like I said, 1:30 p.m. Eastern today and tomorrow. I am Troy. This is Marks on Media. What's up, everybody? Marks on Media. We're going to be discussing. We actually got some main event Marks topics, which is for people that aren't longtime listeners, watchers, whatever. That is the wrestling brand that I have. Used to be a wrestling podcast I did with my dearly departed friend Greg, but now it's just YouTube content. But I also cover video games, anime, TV, movies, and just other random stuff. Tomorrow we got a big slate. There were so many topics I wanted to cover, and I was just like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. Plus, I want to talk about some stuff I watched over the weekend and get you all involved in that discussion as well. So, yeah, what have you all been watching lately? I know over the weekend I watched obviously House of the Dragon, right there. It was a big episode. Uh, some death, some destruction. I'm not going to go into spoilers if anybody hasn't seen it yet, but you really have to watch out because there are spoilers galore, and it was the best episode I saw in a long time. Every episode is pretty much a banger. This season has been so good, so awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far, and I know there's more big stuff to come. So, yeah, if what are your opinions on House of the Dragon? Do you think a certain someone is dead? I have not read the book. I've seen parts of it. I don't there's a major character that I don't know if they're dead. I'm not even gonna give a gender because that might give it away, but who I'm talking about. But yeah, they may be here with us. They may not be any longer. You tell me. What do you think? So another thing something I've been getting into lately. This isn't a brand new show. It's been out for a while, but I recently got into finally into Fallout. That show is awesome. I'm only on episode 3, but I can see the hype. I I I buy into the hype. It's been really good. Walton Goggins is awesome. The lead actress, I don't know her name, but she's awesome. Everybody in the show is awesome. That one kid, the only thing that plays her brother, I mean, he's a grown man, not a kid. The only thing I know him from is he was on Hannah Montana years ago. I haven't seen him in anything since then. I'm sure he has been in things. I just never saw him. So there's that. I also wanted to talk about another thing real quick. See if anybody shops at Hobby Lobby, they've got some new anime stuff for a limited time. Most of it's like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and My Hero Academia. Oh, and Dragon Ball Z. Tons of Dragon Ball stuff there. So if you're into any of that, if you go to Hobby Lobby, that's where I got this My Hero Academia hat, and I finally got my wife to give it a second chance, and we are in the process of watching season 1 of My Hero Academia. But she's it's taken us a while because she keeps going back and forth between My Hero Academia and reruns of Grey's Anatomy. So that's ugh. But either way, we're finally watching it together, and it's wrapping up this fall, which I don't like. Yeah, I think September they're wrapping up My Hero Academia. It's like, damn it, such a good show. But either way, let's get into our topics at hand. First of all, speaking of watching things over the weekend, what did everybody think of Money in the Bank? WWE Money in the Bank. I don't want to talk about. I mean, you could talk about the winners, whatever. Specifically, winners of the cases and the world title. So, obviously, for anybody that hasn't watched, then you want to skip this part. I mean, said that I'm going to talk about it. So, if you're watching, kind of your own fault at this point. But yeah, so Drew McIntyre won the men's Money in the Bank briefcase, and uh Tiffany Stratton won the women's, sorry. Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, and Drew cashed his in right away during the World Heavyweight title match, like in the middle of it for some reason, and CM Punk made him pay for it. He came out, beat Drew down, and Damian Priest got the win, and CM Punk screwed over Seth Rollins. CM Punk and Drew continue their feud. Drew got storyline suspended because he started attacking people and insulting Adam Pearce and elbowed Pearce in the face. So Scrap Daddy said, "You're out of here." He's suspended for a while. And Seth Rollins is continuing his feud with CM Punk because he's mad because he said Punk cost him the title. On this is all on Raw, uh, and they had a back and forth about that. So it might be leading to a triple threat at SummerSlam. I'm not certain, but it could be, um, with Rollins and Drew both getting their hands on Punk at the same time. Meanwhile, Drew and Seth hate each other, so it's just, I don't know. It seems perfectly set up for a triple threat, and Punk would also not have to do quite as much because he could powder out some of the time, and the other two could go at it, and then they, kind of take turns back and forth. I have no predictions on Tiffany Stratton, what she's going to do as far as the Money in the Bank briefcase is concerned. I'm thinking she might hold it for a while since Drew cashed in like that night. Tiffany might hold on to it for a little while. She also had a face to face with Trish Stratus backstage at Money in the Bank, so that could be leading somewhere. I'd love to see those two go at it because Tiffany she's not a new age Trish Stratus by any means, but she's kind of in the same vein of the pretty popular blonde, wrestler girl. So, but she did. What was funny was Tiffany was like in full Charlotte Flair cosplay at Money in the Bank. It's funny. She was like channeling Charlotte Flair's energy for that. Other fallouts there. Oh, Raw. So Dominic fell on Liv Morgan again, and Liv kissed him. And as soon as she kissed him, you heard, "This is my brutality," and Rhea Ripley's back. She is back. She stormed to the ring. Liv took off like a shot through the crowd. And so Mommy is back on the WWE Raw roster, and I'm assuming that's leading to a collision course at SummerSlam. For those that don't know, I will be at SummerSlam. My buddy got us tickets. It's up. Cleveland's not where I'm from. I'm from an area around Cleveland. So my family still lives up there, so I'm going to go bunk with them, hang out with my friend who he lives a distance from Cleveland, but he's closer than I am where I live now. So we're going to go up to SummerSlam. The last SummerSlam I was at was actually last year in Detroit with Greg, the last time I ever saw him. So it's bittersweet, but I'm going to make the best of it. It's going to be fun. We're going to be in Cleveland Browns Stadium or First Energy Field, whatever the hell, First Energy Stadium. So it's going to be a good time had by all, man. I think SummerSlam is shaping up to look good. The Bloodline got the win, and they acknowledged Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. We don't know where that's going to go on Friday. Obviously, I think it was last Friday or the Friday before, the Bloodline group powerbombed Paul Heyman through the announce table, basically telling him to go kick rocks. So it's definitely heating up. But that's that. NXT, the TNA NXT crossover is heating up as well. For those that don't know, Charlie Dempsey, who is William Regal's son from the NXT roster, has been wrestling for TNA for a while now. He's still on the NXT roster, but they sent him there probably to get more reps in because they didn't really have much for him in NXT, limited time and whatnot. So he's over there. TNA sent over Joe Hendry again. He got cheered like a god. And I have a missed call from. Do any of you get that where it started to derail everything? Do any of you get that where your phone doesn't even ring? It just pops up and says, you have a missed call. Whatever. I don't want to speak to you anyway. Regardless, Joe Hendry popped up again in, it looks like he's slipping into the world title picture, which is cool. At Heatwave, Trick Williams lost the title to All Ego Adam Page. So that's cool. I love Adam Page, or Ethan Page, not Adam Page. Oh, I do love Adam Page, but Ethan Page. He is the new NXT World Champion, won it at Heatwave. He didn't even. It was a weird way he won it because they still kept Trick strong because he hit the trick shot on, I forget who it was. The other guy in the match got pinned. I'm blanking right now. Sorry. But he hit it on him, knocked him down, hit it on Ethan Page, and Ethan collapsed on the other guy and pinned him. So he's the new champ. And Joe Hendry came out, like I said, on NXT this week to get involved in that. Crowd loves him. I think he's very indie-rific, but, whatever. The other thing of note that happened on NXT was the Rascals came out from TNA. If anybody remembers, was it Nash Carter in NXT? He's Zachary Wentz is his real name that he uses in TNA, but he was fired from NXT a while ago for, first of all, he got Me Too'd. That didn't really, I don't think that stuck as much, but then he had some propaganda, I'll say, some stuff from his past where I guess he dressed in a costume, wearing the outfit of the bad guys from WWE 2, if I remember correctly. If you know what I'm talking about, they followed the guy with the tiny mustache, the Austrian painter. Yeah, I think he wore a costume of them, and it made a lot of people mad. So he got El Buto, and so Wes Lee is all alone. But the Rascals, who are Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, they showed up and basically said they're reforming the Rascals. So cool. The Ohio boys, baby. I like them. I always like the Rascals. I think they look like, I always refer to them as wet cigarettes, like in human form. Like, people like Pete Davidson, Machine Gun Kelly, people like that. That's what they look like to me. But either way. But that is it for that. Getting into the first thing I wanted to talk about here, our first story is a big thing from Money in the Bank. We're going to go to the Wrestling Observer for this. Greg would have given me such crap for using this, but it is accurate. So, John Cena on WWE Retirement Tour. We're going to do it as big as we can. John Cena answered questions about his retirement tour during the WWE Money in the Bank post-event press conference. Cena announced on the pay-per-view that he's retiring from WWE, although his end date is still some time away. He clarified at the press conference that his retirement tour doesn't end at next year's WrestleMania. Yeah, he was a little unclear about that, in my opinion. I think he did specify that he said that what WrestleMania would be his last, but he didn't necessarily say WrestleMania is my send off. So he's not Kurt Angling it. I think he's in much better shape than Kurt Angle at the end of his career anyway. Which is sad because in my opinion, Kurt Angle is like 1 or 1A greatest wrestler of all time, or 1A, 1B, whatever. So a lot of people say Shawn Michaels, he's up there for me. I always put Ric Flair above him. Just I don't know. You could always say Rick did the same match over and over, but hey, got him over. Quote, it's not going to end at WrestleMania. That WrestleMania will be my last WrestleMania, but hopefully If everything goes according to plan, we're going straight through from January to December. Awesome. So literally a whole year. Get off my screen, Brian Alvarez. Turd. Anyway, quote, we're going to try to do a long list of dates. I think right now, tentatively, it's hovering in the mid 30s to 40s because I'm still going to try to juggle a lot of stuff that's going on, and that will be the end of my in ring competition. Cena then stated he plans to stay involved with WWE after he retires from in ring competition. Part of this business plan that I proposed and they accepted was me remaining in the WWE family in some capacity for an extended time to come. I've always said to the audience that WWE is my home and I love it. Just because I physically feel I'm at my end doesn't mean I need to distance myself from something I love. Uh, and he goes on. Um, Yada yada. He's retiring. He ain't going to be acting all year if he's going to be wrestling that much. Yeah, pretty much. He's going to take a year off of acting. Might as well. So they're probably paying him well to make up for it, which I mean, I'm sure Endeavor is forking over some good moolah for Juan Cena. Why wouldn't they? Let's see. He said something in a couple things in here. Expectations. Oh, he's going to turn heel. He said, quote, I don't know how much impact that would have, Cena said about turning heel. That goes heavily against what I value. I think you would see through it. Our fans have a great bullcrap meter. Yeah. God, they asked him about Vince McMahon. What do you think about Vince McMahon and how much of a crappy person he is? He said, surely an uncomfortable question, Cena responded, and man, I really would much rather talk about what's ahead of us. That's really important. I've been pretty honest in my opinion to answer that question, and if you didn't see it, I know you can dig it up somewhere. Again, if you want that information, you dig hard enough, you can find it. Thank you, though. Appreciate the courage. Yeah, that's his way of just saying, shut the F up. I'm not talking about that right now. Now's not the time. Plenty of people do that. I see every time they hold a press conference, this happens, and every time people get mad. Well, they're dodging the question. They're not saying that. What do you expect them to say, man? They're not going to completely disavow him, even though they kind of have. I mean, they're blurring him out of stuff that they can't cut him out of, any old footage. They don't bring him up. They don't uh, really talk about him at all. They act like he never existed. He just rode off into the sunset, and they're doing all they can. They got rid of him in every way you can get rid of him, and I just don't know what they expect them to say at this point. Where it's like you're at a press conference. I guarantee if they said anything past like a really short, like basically like, yeah, that sucks, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Lawyers would be screaming, just absolutely fuming in the back room. Guarantee it. And Endeavor don't want that smoke. WWE don't want individually doesn't want that smoke. You could say anything and get sued. You could say anything and ruin prosecutions, whatever. Anything that comes out, if they are caught on record talking about it and saying certain things, it can and will be used in the court of law. That's why you have the right to remain silent because of that. Invoking the Fifth Amendment, to not criminalize yourself. I don't know what they expect them to say. All these AEW marks every time. It's always the AEW marks. Why aren't they talking about this more? Like, what the F are they supposed to say? They're trying to talk about how great of a show they just had and how amped they are for it and the future. And you're like, by the way, Vince McMahon is a creep, right? What did you know of Vince McMahon's creepiness? Like, God, dude. And John Cena, he's just a wrestler, man. Just a freaking wrestler. Leave him alone. It's bad enough he already apologized to China in Mandarin a while ago for daring to say that Thailand exists. But either way, speaking of AEW, I don't watch AEW at all ever. Every once in a while, I catch clips, but I did see this and I thought it was interesting. Felt I should ask if any of y'all have opinions. Get off my screen. Thank you. All right. Mystery Holo.grm, obviously hologram, vignette airs during AEW Collision. That was like the final the final flash you saw on the screen about it. It appears a mystery man is headed to AEW following a mysterious vignette that aired during Saturday's AEW Collision broadcast. This and there was and the return of Marco effing Stunt. Damn it, Brian Alvarez. The return of Marco Stunted Growth, the freaking mascot for Jurassic Express, was what they used to compete against Money in the Bank. I guess they just threw in the towel, but they acted like, dude, when Marco Stunt came out, it was like freaking The Rock just came back, and they're just sitting there like, my God, the tiny boss, he's back. Like, it's not quite that bad, but freaking Tony Schiavone, and God, I love Tony Schiavone, but he was like beside himself. He's like, it's Marco Stunt. We haven't seen him we haven't seen him in a long time. It was so goofy. But then this. So they did have like a little mystery thing to close out the show, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. It appeared. I read that. In the quick 13-second clip, a computer types a command ending in holo.grm, followed by a white man with hair. That's quite the description. A white man with hair jumping into a digital vortex-esque circle. Then a masked man appears for a second before the clip ends with loading soon. And then they got it right there. I'm not going to play it. Some people think it's Ricochet, although the guy in the video didn't look anything like Ricochet, if that is him. Some people also say it's a little soon for Ricochet, which, quite possibly. A lot of other people are saying maybe because they work with AAA, for some reason they're thinking it's Aerostar. I don't know if that's what Aerostar looks like. Let me see. Aerostar. Yeah, I could see it. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Not that one. Share. Yeah, with oh God, that's too far away. Maybe that one kind of. The eyes, yeah. So are they going to start calling him hologram? Okay, so look at this, and then I don't know. I still don't. Not quite 1-to-1. You look at that, and then you look at that. I don't know. Who do you think it is? I honestly have zero clue. I couldn't even hazard a guess. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of AEW, and I don't watch any AAA. So, guesses. Let me know. Comments, chat, all that good stuff. Send me a DM on Twix or Instagram. Let's talk about this. Speaking of AEW, I just saw this was interesting on Bounding into Comics. AEW CEO Tony Khan feels really blessed to be in business with great leader in Warner Bros. Discovery president David Zaslav. That is very much open to interpretation. That is a very hot take Tony has there, calling him a great leader. Many people in the entertainment industry would argue that point. Ugh. All Elite Wrestling brought sports entertainment back to blah, 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 blah. I don't care about the backstory. Thriving relationship with WB. However, the fate of their TV time might be up in the air as their media rights deal with Warner comes up at the end of the year. It's a ticking clock, and analysts everywhere are paying attention to it. But AEW co-founder Tony Khan doesn't sound worried. In a recent interview with WGN Radio, promoting upcoming shows in Chicago, of course, Khan had nothing but optimism and kind words towards his working relationship with Warner Discovery and its head executive. That press conference they've got a picture of there was nuts. And this, by the way, is from like the AEW nerds sitting there going, they don't talk about Vince McMahon enough in these WWE pressers. Freaking Chris Jericho is under some creepy allegations, and this dork sitting here in these damn women's sunglasses and that freaking fuzzy ass hat, like, good grief. And he's sitting here talking about some serious allegations with Chris Jericho. Like, F off, dude. Undertaker doesn't think Tony Khan is fit to run All Elite Wrestling despite his good intentions. Fact check true. Fact check true. I see no lies. I this is what Tony said. He said, "I want to keep bringing the shows here as soon or as long as possible. We have a great partnership, and we're having great talks. I hope that we are with TBS and TNT for a very long time." I don't know why I couldn't get that out. We're really happy to be here, and I'm really blessed to be working with a great leader like Mr. David Zaslav, who has been so great to AEW and helped us expand with more events and expand TNT Saturdays, and has helped us continue to have these great Wednesday nights on TBS. Yada yada, kissing ass, whatever. Oh my God, it's going. They're talking about all the movies he's shelved and threw in the vault. Batgirl, Scoob, Holiday Haunt, and Coyote versus Acme. Yeah. To be fair, Zaslav, he inherited a mess when Discovery acquired Warner Media. Wait, Discovery acquired them? I thought it was the other way around. Anyway, and he had to get the money under control. Things between WBD and AEW might be cozy right now, but we could see a change in the next 6 months if the latter's ratings keep declining. Yeah. WBD has been a mess for a long time, running in the red hard. Just drinking a water today. No energy drink, unfortunately. I really want one. I'm trying to refrain, abstain, all that. But yeah, so that's wrestling. I hope you all keep up with me on my journey, all the way to SummerSlam. Should be a good time. And if any of y'all are there in Cleveland, let me know. Maybe we can. Well, I'll say this: I'm not going to be there long. I'm actually going to try to hang out with family as much as possible. Never seen my friend's house, so he wants me to come out a little early and see his new home. So I'm not really going to be hanging around Cleveland very much, but I might get there maybe in time for dinner before the show. We'll see. I know before Fastlane 2019 at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, I there in Cleveland, I went with my buddies Greg and Cal, and we ate at B Dubs, which was like right down the street because that's all that wasn't packed to the brim. Yeah. See if I can do it again this time, or if I even give a damn. Let's get into video games, shall we? Where is the article? Right there. Duh. Okay. Back to bounding into comics, ladies and gents. Microsoft Xbox branch to reportedly face third round of layoffs this year. According to a new report, Microsoft may soon be handing out yet even more pink slips to their already embattled Xbox workforce. The first teaser the first tease of the company's upcoming misfortunes was provided to the public courtesy of their now former gaming learner gaming learning lead, Jesse Thomas, who, okay, uh taking to her personal Twitter account on July 2nd, Thomas informed her followers, quote, "Sad to announce that my role with Microsoft has been eliminated. Been there. It sucks. To all those who have been a part of Team Xbox," she added, "thank you. Hope I made you proud." I don't know who you are. I mean, I know, what this article says about her, but that's about it. From there, noted industry insider and The Verge senior editor Tom Warren subsequently revealed that rather than a one-off situation, Thomas's job cut was actually the result of a larger round of impending Xbox layoffs. Hmm. I mean, maybe. Retweeting Thomas's initial announcement later in the same day, Warren detailed more Xbox layoffs happening this week. Microsoft laid off Jessie while she was on vacation. That blows. Unfortunately, Warren did not provide any details on which specific Xbox divisions or positions would be affected by these layoffs. So far, I haven't seen anything. These layoffs actually come to fruition. They would be the latest to hit Microsoft in 2024 alone. In January, they decided, in a decision partially motivated by shrinking profit projections for the upcoming year, Microsoft axed a rough total of 1,900 positions across their Activision, Blizzard, Xbox, and ZeniMax studios. I remember that one. I think I reported on it at the time. Yeah, so like I said, I haven't seen any updates on. Yeah, what was this? May 8th, 7 days ago. More Xbox layoffs at Microsoft inbound this week. Yeah, so I just keep saying stuff saying they're coming, or reportedly on the horizon. Yeah, so nobody's got any like solid information. So that's why I said it's like a rumor. And even Bounding into Comics was saying, "Oh, it's just a rumor." Yeah, so because like I said, I'm not seeing any solid evidence of that at all. Um, so I don't know if anybody knows any more. I'm gonna keep my eyes out on this story and try to keep updated as much as possible. I'm not online a lot. This isn't my job. I'm actually, I've got a shoot job during the week, so this ain't it. Okay. So sorry, I've got foster cats I'm also checking up on, which is another reason why I said I have a hard out time because one of them's sick. Um, let's see. Let's move on here. Hold on. Stupid ads getting up in the way. Oh God. All right. Sorry. I try to stream and like everything comes in all at once and it's really annoying. The struggle. The struggle is real. Okay. This one, God of War Ragnarok writer Alana Pierce argues Elden Ring is not accessible to disabled players, claims it counts as a disability if you have a 2-year-old. I'm going to give, I'm going to go through some of this and then, man, this blew up. I did a short about this on YouTube. It freaking blew up with comments and arguments and everything else. I'm going to give both sides of it. And I am going to give my actual opinion on it here in a sec, but noted video game personality Alana Pierce is adding her voice to the chorus of critics who believe the core fundamentals of From Software's difficult video game design philosophy are somehow unfair and restrictive to disabled individuals. Um, okay, and they correct a previous article. Doesn't really matter. I'm trying to get down to what she said here. Offered her hard take. Titled Elden Ring is too hard. It's not. Okay. Okay, here we go. When I'm quote, when I'm asking for accessibility, I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. Here's the thing I want to spell out where accessibility is concerned. People who are disabled. There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long term disabilities, there are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket, a power outlet. Yeah. And then she says there are temporary disabilities like you break your wrist, you sprain your wrist, where you'll temporarily have trouble playing video games. She continued, you would need something to help you press certain buttons if you're playing Elden Ring. Okay, couple of things. Because this gets people heated for, I get it. The wording, personally, I think the wording was terrible. People argue with me about that. People wanted to go off on me about that. I I kind of get what she's saying. The charitable view, what she's saying is kind of right, kind of not. Uh, the uncharitable view that most people are going to take about this is you said that having a child is a disability for me, and I don't like that. Even when it comes to playing video games, having a child with you is not a disability. Being a parent is not a disability. She's using a very technical term, and most people are not going to get that or care or give her grace for that. And I get that. She's accurate in the way of it's going to stop you from playing to the best of your abilities. That's what she's basically trying to say is you have a hindrance for playing the game to the best of your ability, and it would help if they added a pause feature. I've since been told in let me see if I can sorry about that. Something fell. Let's see if I can find the exact comments here. Um somebody cuz I sorry, I got to dig through my comments a little bit. Yeah, it said you can pause in the equipment menu explanation. Somebody said you can pull up like a help menu or something like that, and it pauses or something like that. So it's not like the biggest thing is people were like, yeah, but it's not a quick pause. You can't just hit the pause button, and that pisses a lot of people off. I get that. I understand that, and that frustrates me too as a gamer because I have to pause a lot. So it's just an extra added step that's kind of annoying. I get it. Uh, But I don't know, a lot of people are not gonna give her that grace because of it, and because of the way she worded things, and I get that too. But everybody else was just I had a lot of comments just saying, "Get good," and, that kinda stuff. And she also clarifies, she's like, "Oh, the game isn't too hard, you just need to get good," and whatever. So I don't know, but then she's sticking up for people with disabilities, even though I had a couple of people saying, "Screw you for being ableist," because I was like, I don't know if this is really a problem and whatever. And they're like going off on me about it. They're like, I have nerve damage and this hurt. I can't play this game or whatever. But then I had a ton of other people in my comments saying, I'm in a wheelchair, or I have this, or I have that, and I'm perfectly fine playing it. Somebody beat it on a DDR pad, all this other stuff. So I don't know. It is what it is. People are gonna, if you want to find a way, you'll find a way to beat it. That's all I got to say. So you can be charitable about it, or you can complain about it. One or the other. Uh, Look, we're running low on time here, so some of these I might they're not as timely. I just wanted to get into a couple of things. I'm going to breeze through here really quickly. The last video game story I'm going to breeze through. Oop, excusez-moi. Here we go. Look, I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't play Dragon Quest at all. I don't care. It's just really annoying because you see this crap going on. And I will have more probably tomorrow on anime and certain things going on there. But here we go. Square Enix to reportedly replace male-female options with gender-neutral looks in upcoming Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Yay. Updated for a modern audience, ladies and gentlemen. In a move that reeks of the company's infamous ethics department, a new report suggests that rather than gender, the characters in Square Enix's Dragon Quest III HD 2D will instead be classified according to their look. Isn't that a little bigoted? Well, you look like a man. I'm a girl. Okay, well then you're a girl. As seen immediately upon starting the original 1988 adventure, Dragon Quest III: The Seeds of Salvation, featuring a novel for the time gender mechanic, which allows players to not only choose the gender of the game's protagonist, but also recruit male or female versions of each respective class, such as warrior, mage, or thief. While the decision to play as a man or woman ultimately has little effect on the game's narrative, the choice to play does determine their appearance, what equipment they can use, and which personalities they can potentially develop. Yeah, and then they go on about some of that. According to noted Japanese entertainment scoop outlet Ryakuda 2089, as machine translated via Deep L rather than male or female, the two options will instead be referred to as Look A, clearly a male hero, and Look B, clearly a female hero. Further, each look will be voiced respectively by Hayama Nobuyuki, okay, from Yu Yu Hakusho, and Minaguchi Yuki from Dragon Ball. I guess it's the trend of the times, wrote the unidentified scooper who broke the news. Quote, it seems that the game's other jobs will no longer distinguish between male or female in the name. Okay. They've also done crap like this to Final Fantasy VII, where Cloud originally stole a pair of Tifa's panties from her drawer in order to make it far less controversial. Yeah, they keep PCing it up. So, Square Enix released a patch that retroactively censored the teenage Tifa's cowboy outfit as worn by the heroine during the infamous uh, Nibelheim or Nibelheim incident. Good God. Square Enix, man, get it together. People are just not happy with them. I feel like once a week I have a messed up story about them. I might go a little, just a tad, just a hair over my hard time because there are a couple stories I really need to get to. I went really long on the wrestling stuff, but we never talk wrestling. So, all right, I'm not going to get into specifics about certain movies that I wanted to get into on the stream, but I will get into specifics with this. Let's look at the numbers for the box office going on. Inside Out Dose, still raking it in, baby. Holy crap. Look at this. Total gross, $543,548,505 in 26 days. Bad Boys Ride or Die is actually doing really well. Horizon and American Saga doing pretty well. They've only been out for 12 days, so Sound of Hope, that's kind of an indie film. It's not doing the greatest, but it's by Angel Studios, the same ones that did Sound of Freedom. I wonder what their next Sound of movie is going to be. Sound of Hope is about this this like black church, for lack of a better term, getting all these families from the church to adopt all these kids that were homeless and stuck in the system and whatever. So it's based on a true story and all that. But wow, it actually had a wider release than I thought it would. 2,200 theaters. Garfield still hanging in there. It's been around for almost 2 months at this point. 91 million. Not a bad pull, especially for Garfield. I can't imagine what the budget would be. Blue Lock the movie. I think that's a soccer anime. I think, and then Hijack 1971. I don't even see if on here. Let's see. Oh wait, that's a year ago. My bad. Clicked on the wrong thing. Let's see. Despicable Me 4 cleaned up pretty well. 131 mil total gross. Not bad. Inside Out 2. Where's If? If way down here. So supposedly it did bad. I don't know what the total budget was. Let's see. John Krasinski. Let's see. Budget. Do they show 110 million? And now Wikipedia is showing it made 185.5 million. So it's best to double your budget, I'll say. And so far they have not done that. I think they're officially out of theaters at this point. I don't know. I've heard it was not good. Not good. Bad. I will watch it just because I really want to watch it. Real quick, I'm not gonna pull up. Well, I guess I'll pull up the article just to show from Giant Freaking Robot. This one I can just breeze through really quickly. So, hit sci-fi anime second season already in production. Yeah, second season of the anime hit Kaiju number 8 is being readied by its producers and creative team in Japan for streaming release later this year or in early 2025. It's on Crunchyroll. It's fantastic. I've done videos on this. I have not spoken to anybody who doesn't like Kaiju number 8 that's an anime fan. It's so good. If any of you have not checked it out yet, it's awesome. I won't bring up the article for this one because I don't have a lot to say about it. I literally just watched the trailer for Agatha All Along, which is the new Agatha Harkness show on Disney Plus coming out from Marvel. God, it didn't need to be made. It's whatever, but it's fine. It looks interesting. I'll watch it. Aubrey Plaza's in it. Catherine Hahn is obviously playing Agatha again. It looks creepy. I'll say that. I'm interested, kinda, to see where it goes. I still have not watched Loki season 2. I just haven't cared. Haven't watched Echo either. Don't think I'm ever gonna watch Echo. Hawkeye was good. That was the last good Disney plus Marvel show I've watched. I don't know if this one is creepy enough. I'll give it a couple I'll watch a couple episodes, see if I give a damn. I'm gonna try to get my wife into it, but okay. So I have to wrap up the stream. So I really wanted to touch on this before I go. Everybody is turning because this is BuzzFeed news. I'm not getting this article from Bounding into Comics or that Park Place, which I know has a right leaning skew to everything. I'll admit that. But this is from BuzzFeed, which is definitely a left leaning uh, publication, I guess, website, whatever you want to call it. This is nuts. It's about The Boys. Now, the I'll get into my opinions about the season here after this, but people are seriously outraged after The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke dismisses a brutal SA scene as hilarious, downplaying a character being subjected to, uh, well, you can read it right there, ST, against his will. Some struggle snuggle time, we'll say. Eric said, quote, I love that it's just such a perfect setup that he doesn't know his own safe word. It's just like a beautiful comedy setup that he's trying to find it the whole time, end quote. Yikes. Let's get down to the actual article here. I want to get into the meat of it. Yeah, if you see this picture right here, this is what's happening. So Huey is in the costume. They they found the Spider-Man ripoff of The Boys, which is his name is Web Weaver. Okay. He shoots webs out of a hole above his butt, like a real spider, I guess. And he's an addict of illegal substances, we'll say. And substances you could find at a hospital. So he passes out and they steal his suit and Huey poses as him. And Tech Knight, originally I thought they described him as like their Iron Man, but he's more of like their Batman. And instead of a bat cave, he has a BDSM cave, basically. I don't know how else to describe it. And of course, he throws in, "Oh, I got my money through my great great grandparents were slave traders, and they owned plantations, and that's how my family got rich." And then he makes some racist friggin' comment to like right to A Train's face. It's like, my gosh, people that don't know A Train's black. In the episode, the boys are trying to infiltrate a right wing event. I'll get into all that. At Tech Knight's home, with Tech essentially the show's version of Batman. In order to do this, Jack Quaid's character, Huey, dresses up as another Soup, Webweaver, a Spider Man inspired villain. I mean, I don't know if he's a villain, but all Soups are a-holes in the show. Prior to this episode, it was established that Tech was Huey's childhood hero. Keep that in mind. Unbeknownst to Huey and the rest of the gang, Webweaver was going to Tech's headquarters in audition to be his sidekick, which involves going through a series of BDSM-inspired challenges. Yeah. Uh, the former CEO of the main company, Vought, gets involved. There you can see he's like gonna cut a hole in him to do things before he's rescued. And finally, he breaks down to his girlfriend at the end of the episode because his dad just died a pretty brutal death in this episode before. Yeah. In the interview, the publication asked, let's start with the Tech Knight dungeon part. Where did the idea come from, and why bring Huey into the situation now, kicking him when he's down by having him SA'd by his childhood hero after his dad just died? Look at this effing dork. Dude, I loved Supernatural until the last couple of seasons, but you're a freaking dork. I like this. He says, well, that's a dark way of looking at it. We viewed it as hilarious. Obviously, Tech Knight is our version of Batman, and we wanted to really play around with that trope, Batman's fascist underpinnings as a really wealthy dude who hunts poor people and then profits of the incarceration. Like, what? Have you read a Batman comic, dude? He he doesn't hunt down poor people. He finds criminals in the streets doing horrible things. It's not like he just like busts a dude like jaywalking and just like beats him to a pulp. He finds these people doing disgusting, brutal criminal acts and he takes them down. He refuses to kill them. And yeah, he throws them in jail where they effing belong. How is that fascist? What a psycho, man. So that was one. Tech Knight was already set up to be a freak, of course. So we were kind of already halfway there. Yeah, and he said the Bat Cave would be an S dungeon, of course. Yeah, because everybody in the show is a deviant, like just over the top, deviant, disgusting. And I know the comics were pretty bad, but holy crap. Their version of Sean Hannity, basically, because he looks a lot like Sean Hannity. He does some right wing show, whatever. He's secretly a deviant that likes stuff up his keister. Like it's like over the top, disgusting stuff. And like this version of Batman has some weird thing where he every time he sees a hole, he's got to have relations with it, whether it's an inanimate object or not. And he goes on about how awesome this was, but like they ask the obvious question. They're like, so why is this funny? But in season 1, where Starlight gets essayed by the Deep, who is their version of Aquaman, that was like super serious and a somber moment. And they try arguing. They're like, well, Huey volunteered to go down there and whatever. Like, Huey didn't volunteer for this. He volunteered to go in and like pose as Web Weaver to get information. He didn't know this was going to happen. And he almost got mutilated and violated for it. And they give the SA hotline right there. This is nuts, man. And this show is just over the top, and I love the people on Twitter nowadays, by the way. Whenever anybody has a complaint about this season, they go, "Oh, it took them 4 seasons to realize they're actually making fun of them," talking about right-wingers. Like, dude, I even said it in a previous video. I was like, "The Boys is woke. The Boys has always been pretty woke, pretty outright with their politics. They weren't trying to hide it. However, they would also make fun of the left. They would make fun of the people in the middle. They made fun of like literally everything you could make fun of. And they weren't right out loud in your face about this one group is super bad and evil and everything they do is disingenuous. And by the way, they're all deviants and like over the top disgusting people. Um, but this season, then they're like, everybody on the left, oh, they're just so pure and their intentions are for good and they're just fighting for truth and justice. Oh, but it's that evil Homelander and all of his right-wing pals, and they're even throwing crap in there like that firecracker chick that just joined the Seven. That's like a Southern girl pretending to be some right-wing Christian, whatever, talking like Alex Jones and Marjorie Taylor Greene morphed into one person. And she literally in the latest episode said something about Jewish space lasers. It's like, God, you're like right on the nose with everything. Their character Ezekiel, that was supposed to be some like mega pastor or whatever, of course was a deviant, and he was gay behind the scenes, and he was and he was like pretty brutal, behind the scenes. Of course, because they're so on the nose. It's not even. I don't care so much about the politics. It's just lazy at this point, to where I don't even know. Like, I'll finish the season, I'll finish the series, whatever. But man, this show has definitely jumped the shark, and it's gotten lazy with everything it's done in just this entire season. There hasn't been anything that's like, yeah, they've got the over the top gore, they've got the deviancy, and just but the politics stuff of it is just so lazily written, and it's not intelligent in any way, shape, or form. There's nothing about it that is good, smart storytelling. And it's not because they're making fun of my side. I watch left-leaning stuff all the time. As long as you're intelligent and clever, whatever. South Park makes fun of everybody, and I watch it. Family Guy makes fun of the right most of the time, and I still enjoy it, and I watch it. This is just like ham-fisted, just like stupidity, and I think Eric Kripke secretly is a deviant himself that wants to do all this. Let me see if there's anything I want to squeeze in really quickly. No, I really got to go. Like I said, I wanted my heart out to be 9 minutes or 10 minutes ago, but there was some stuff I had to cover. So I went a little long on the wrestling stuff, and I was late. So that's on me. But I will move a lot of the stuff that's still good. I'll move it to tomorrow. I won't have such a hard out, but I really wanted to cover the stuff I covered today. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope you come back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be right here. YouTube, Rumble, X, Locals, Kick. We're everywhere, baby. I hope you enjoyed it all. Send me DMs, comments, and all that stuff. I read them all. I respond to them all happily. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about some of the stuff, as long as you come to me in good faith and you're polite and you're not coming at me. I will say the only comments I delete are ones, if you're calling me one of the bad guys from WWE2, that's where I draw the line. I'm going to delete your comment and block you from my channel. I'm not going to converse with you. I'm not. It's it's insane. Or if you're just replying to every single video, every single comment, just talking crap, and it's like, dude, okay, enough. Like, it's creepy. All right. But anyway, if you're not already, please like and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you're on YouTube. If you're on Rumble, please follow the channel, and check out if hit the notifications on there so you get notified every time I post brand new content, which is multiple times a week, by the way. I'm gonna try to go live at least once a week for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. At least to finish out July, or close to it. I'm at least going to go live again next week. After that, it's going to be spotty. And like I said, going live tomorrow. If you can follow me on X and Instagram, it's at Marks _ media. Sorry, I was main event Marks for a while, but yeah, it's at Marks Marks _ media. So somebody already had Marks on media, so I had to put the underscores in there. But follow me, like I said, X, Twix, Twitter, whatever, Instagram. I appreciated all this. I'm on Twitter more than anything else, or X. But I have been posting on Instagram. I check my messages every single day if I get any. So YouTube and X is where you can reach me the quickest. But I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you had fun. We will talk about way more stuff tomorrow. We will see you all next time tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. I will be on time. I promise, unless something really big comes up. 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, right here, same place. Bye.